Hey guys, I'm Joe and I'm the Deputy Manager here at Richer Sounds in Leeds. And today I'm going to talk you through our state-of-the-art experience room, which represents the cutting edge of what's available to you when planning and designing your own projects at home. So come on, let's take a closer look inside. Here we are. So over the next few minutes, we're going to talk you through the thinking that went into the design, the build, and the product choice of this room, and how you can apply that thinking when designing your own projects at home. Whilst a large screen TV setup is more than adequate for most viewing environments, nothing quite compares to the cinematic nature of a projector. And for this room, we've chosen an option from Sony's 4K SRXD range. Now, the two crucial things to remember with this one is that it's a native 4K chipset, and also it utilises SRXD technology, which is specific to Sony and takes the best elements of the more common DLP and LCD projection types. What this means in reality is that you'll get very good contrast, very good colour, and very good motion, not having to compromise on any of those when making the decision of what projector to go for. Now, excitingly, Sony have just announced a new range of their SRXD projectors. We've been lucky enough to be selected as a regional demo centre for the VPL VW790, so hopefully we'll be able to show you that in a bit more detail in a video to come. A lot of the factors that we're really looking for, colour, contrast, brightness, are actually just as much down to the screen. So in this instance, we've got a 3-metre CinemaScope screen by Screen Innovations, which is designed to maximise the reflectivity of the light travelling from the projector across the room and back towards our eyes, meaning we see the most colour and the most brightness that the room can possibly allow. And the other really exciting thing about this screen is that it's acoustically transparent. And that's to say that the surface of it is perforated in such a way that it allows sound to travel through it. We've got our left, centre and right speaker for the surround sound system housed in the wall behind the screen. And these have been provided by Monitor Audio, and it's from the very top end of their series, the Platinum in walls. And then for the side and rear speakers in the configuration, we're using another variant by Monitor Audio, which comprises similar build materials, but it's actually a super slim variant, meaning that it doesn't require very much depth in the wall to mount. And then up here, we've got another variant from Monitor Audio, a CDT 380 IDC. What's unique about this ceiling speaker is that it's actually got a pivotable tweeter, so you can angle the treble section of the speaker to point down at your listening position, giving you really, really precise and accurate placement of overhead sound. In a traditional surround sound setup, all we're really able to do is send sound along a 2-dimensional plane between the front and the rear speakers. Where as soon as we add an element of height, we can place sound in a dome, we can place objects anywhere within the room. So it gives you much more freedom over where sound can appear from, and it also gives you a far more accurate placement of sounds coming from the front, rear and side speakers. And of course, it wouldn't be a cinema system without subwoofer. And in this instance, we've not just gone for one big subwoofer, we've gone for two. So we've got the SVS PB16, which is the ported bass version here. And then to keep bass pressure equal across the room, we've got the twin sister over here, which is the SVS SB16. Which is offering a bit more of a tauter bass to sort of balance out the heavier side over there. Now we make our way over to the heart of the system. And usually you'd find this would be housed in one single box called an AV receiver. What we've opted to do here is to separate those two bits into the processor and the power amp. Handling both of those functions separately means that we end up with a better overall sound. So we've got the Anthem AVM60. That hands its signal over to the Emotiva XPA11. So you find you get a really, really musical, dynamic soundtrack that comes through from the front of the room while still having plenty of power to deal with the sides, rears and in-ceiling channels. We also have a second in-house system, just as a means of comparison for customers who want to hear a couple of different options. We've covered all of the walls here in the room in fabric, which, alongside looking really nice, It also has helped us disguise the speakers and hide in the acoustic back boxes and foam absorption panels that we've got hidden behind the surface. And this has meant that we haven't had to spend as much time concentrating on minimising those imperfections sonically later down the line using digital equipment. There's no point putting any of this stuff in the room if you haven't got the correct place to sit whilst you're enjoying it. For our room, we've chosen a dual motor option by the cinema seating company Front Row. What we mean by dual motor is that we have control over both the leg section of the reclining seat and the neck and shoulder section, allowing you to find the optimum place of comfort from which to enjoy the movie. These dual motors are controlled by a touch panel that's actually built into the side arm of the sofa itself. You've also got an optional cup holder, which can be removed and replaced with a tray that comes out over the seating as well. And they're also available in a massive range of styles, colours and fabrics. This bit of the room might be my favourite, and it's quite a subtle thing, and it's also something that sounds like it should be a lot more expensive than it actually is. So underneath the seating here, we have what's mounted called a tactile transducer. That's a seating mounted variant. And underneath this entire platform, we also have a platform mounted variant of a tactile transducer. What these do, they actually vibrate the surface of both the platform and the seating at frequencies all the way down to 5 Hertz. You can feel the vibration, which comes through as an audio feed, similar to the one that goes to the subwoofers, meaning that you actually feel the soundtrack as opposed to just hearing it. The lighting in the room is provided by the hugely popular Philips Hue. This range of lighting, it's available in both spotlight and LED strips, which I know you can't quite see here, but we've got them lining the underside of the bulkhead. And they connect up over your Wi-Fi network, meaning that you can control them from your smartphone or tablet, and you can set them up to sort of correlate with specific actions in the room, such as turning the projector on and turning the projector off. You can also set them into little scenes as well, so you can change them just with the click of a button on your controller to change sort of ambient lighting of the room and set a different mood. The icing on the cake of the lighting system is this infinity ceiling by Starscape. Each square metre of panel includes 100 mixed diameter fibre optic stars. These, again, like the Philips, can be programmed into different scenes, so you can set them to twinkling, you can have them as solid, you can have them off, and they can be programmed to do things along with the correlation of turning your projector on, as we mentioned before. Installation of the ceiling is actually really simple. It's a series of bars that fix along the top of the ceiling, and the panels just stick on magnetically. So compared to fitting an ordinary ceiling, there's actually very, very little required in order to get this up and running. As you might expect, with a lot of products comes a lot of remote controls. And if you're not really in the market for having to go through the drawer to find the correct one for the correct product each time you want to use the room, you can use something like URC or Control 4. We've got the former in this room, URC, Universal Remote Control, which allows you to simplify all of your remotes into an app. And if you don't want to use it on the smartphone or tablet, if you want something more professional, a bit more dedicated, they do sell a unit that you can have housed in the cinema room, which comes with a charging platform that can plug into your seating. Now, we wouldn't recommend having a crack at programming this stuff on your own, because it's not for the faint-hearted, but it is something we've got a lot of experience in, so feel free to get in touch if this is something that interests you. Well, hopefully, this video has shown you what is possible when you're designing and creating your own projects at home. But the important thing to remember is that this represents the peak of what's available, and we're here to cater for you whether your budget's £500 or if it's £500,000. We'll still offer you the same level of practical and logistical expertise, no matter what the scope of your project or the size of your budget. So if you've got any questions about anything you've just seen, or if you're interested in doing something similar yourself at home, feel free to get in touch with us via any of the links that you see below here, and we're hoping to see you again with videos in the future, so please do like and subscribe.